Hello, Cat here. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play Legend of Zelda. Things keep knocking into me. Well, that's not its official title. I suppose you would have to say its official title is Oracle Seasons. Anyway, this is another episode of it. Now, I'm not going to be getting all of the heart pieces because, alright, frankly, it's too much trouble. It's not really worth it. There's still 4 pieces to go. After I've gotten this one, there'll still be 3 pieces to go. And until I've gotten all 4 pieces of the next heart container, I'm not going to have the next heart container. So, I would really need to get all of them. And the big problem with this is basically episode length versus how long I record for. I'm just pausing here to talk, because I know it's going to be hard for me to talk whilst I'm fighting all of these things down here. Anyway, I could spend an hour, in fact I did spend an hour a couple of days ago trying to get these last heart pieces. Even with a strategy guide in front of me, I still only managed to get 1. So yes, unless I'm lucky enough that Maple happens to drop another heart piece, this one down here is going to be the last heart piece I'm getting. And well, that's just how it is. I will be getting this heart piece only because I told you last time that I couldn't find this one, and I want to show you now that I've told you about its existence, that it's here. But yeah, episode length is a problem. I record for a long time and then end up with just 5 minutes of footage out of the hour of footage recorded. That's not good, that's not useful, and so that's why I'm not going to get the others. And I lose half a heart whilst doing that. It seems fairly pointless. So, for you, it won't be a lot of footage, and for me, it will take a very long time to record it. And I think I've wasted enough time explaining that to you. So, I will be going straight on to Onyx's castle in a minute. I've got more to say about that and episode length as well. I suppose I will say to you whilst I'm on my way there. So, yes, I might split Onyx's castle up between 2 because of, again, episode length. I spent over an hour recording an episode yesterday of me fighting the final boss in Onyx's castle. There are 3 bosses in that castle, and I didn't manage to defeat them all, even though I spent over an hour on it. So although this episode might end up being short because of that, I don't really have the time to put into this. I don't have over an hour to put into this today, so depending on how things go, I may split the final battle up into 2, or I might not. I'm not sure. The good thing is that there are some extra things I can do to make things better for myself, easier for myself. Okay, actually, before I go to Onyx's castle, there is something specific that I would like to try to collect, if I can. And I will recommend actually taking this, because that damage, preventing damage is going to be really useful. Okay, I'll be back in. I'll show off what I do. Basically, if I can find what I'm trying to find, I will show it off. Ah, I think this is what I was looking for. Certainly hope so. Ah, I really hope this is what I was looking for. Okay, that was worth it, trust me. And it's going to be harder for enemies to hurt us now. And so now is the time when we head to Onyx's castle. Ah. Took me a minute to find it, never mind. To be honest, I can't be bothered to fight him. So I'm not going to. Alright, now if we didn't have that thing, then we won't be able to get through here. But fortunately we do have that thing, so you would, if you come here earlier, you just get sort of pushed backwards. Okay, this conversation is kind of pointless, but we have to go through it, so... Hate it when villains say ho ho ho. No, actually, I'm not that surprised. I'm surprised that you look kind of like Father Christmas. I suppose that's why you're saying ho ho ho. You know, with the beard and everything. Red on your clothes. Of course, that would mean that if I see a postman who has a beard, then I also mistake them for Father Christmas. I guess kind of awkward. Never mind. To any Americans watching this, our postal workers have red uniforms, not blue ones. Yeah, who'd have thought that they would suddenly introduce this at the last minute without explaining who Trin Rover are? I don't think it actually matters. The name of the evil bloke is kind of inconsequential. None of these characters really have any personality to them. Onyx is pretty much Ganondorf with a shorter name. Din is Zelda with a shorter name. They've just tried to make the name shorter, basically. Now, at this point, apart from the bosses, we go through an utterly pointless mini-dungeon in which the enemies aren't actually hard at all, and I don't really see the point in this area existing, but we've got to go through it, so If you go through the doors to the left or the right, you will be able to collect extra hearts. But it's not a good idea, because if you go through them, it will start you at the beginning of the game, of the level again, of the castle, in that first room we were in just then. And this castle has several layers, so there's not much point. Plus, once you've beaten the first boss here, you get a fairy anyway. So you could go to the left or the right here and get a fairy, but I won't advise it. I found out this the hard way by trying it myself after I defeated the first boss, and I had to restart. This is one of the things that went wrong the first time I tried to record this. Of course, also since I didn't finish recording it, that's another reason why I stopped. I really don't approve of the mini dungeons that exist before you face the first boss. Doesn't really matter that those guys are hitting you. What matters is that you don't get taken back to the beginning again by the Wall Masters. So yeah, I don't really approve of this. Okay, we're coming up on the first boss here. As you can see, it hasn't been that long. Most of the time was, the first time I tried to record this was spent on the final boss. I don't really have much to say about this one. I will be showing off the entire fight here. This is a point where it's about to get hard, but I will at least show off the first stage of the final boss. No, going up these stairs is not the hard bit. I don't know how much of this I'll cut out. I recommend having the flying cloak thingy. Okay, if you hit Zelda, then you'll get electrocuted. So, you need to bat her away and then attack him with the sword spin attack. I'll be commenting a little bit on the other things you need to know about this fight in a minute. Unfortunately, we're not really done yet. Okay, so one thing that I think ought to mention about that fight that we just went through is, whilst you're charging up your sword for the spin attack, if you happen to hit his body or you happen to hit Zelda before the spin attack is fully charged, then it will be a normal attack, and normal attacks don't hurt him when he's in that form. So you're gonna need the cloak for this. Let's finish this. And I really wish that he would just keep on doing that for the rest of the fight, but sadly he's not going to. I have to say, I really don't like this fight. It's less manic than most of the boss fights are, but it's not fun. Now, you do extra damage if you have your sword, if you use a spin attack like that. You need to use 2 fingers instead of one to jump, one to keep the sword in charging up, but it's worth doing. Okay, there we go. Really wish I'd known how many hits he took before I attacked him. Oh, darn. I have to say, I found that a quite disappointing final boss. It's not that dragons aren't cool, but I've seen cooler dragons than that. And Onyx himself isn't that interesting. In his normal form. It's just a guy in armor, and that's that. And that face in the floor is a really boring boss. Was when he first appeared, which I believe is in Link's Awakening, and he is now. And by the way, that doesn't actually make sense, because in Link's Awakening, the face in the floor boss, I don't know what it's called, but anyway, it was just in the Windfisher's dream. It didn't exist in reality. So, why is it here? Oh, and for all of those people who think the fact that the same characters appear in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, for all of those who say that proves that Link is dead in Majora's Mask, well, he might be or he might not be, but that really doesn't prove it. It's Prin Rover and Link both appear in this game. Ah, Zelda clone. I mean, Din. There you are. Okay, good. I'm a little worried about this destruction that's supposed to happen. But yeah, sure. Were told destruction would happen. Never mind. Yep. We will see virtually the same storyline again in Oracle of Ages if I ever get round to doing Let's Play of it. And now we've even got Qua. That's what is Qua? Nobody's laughed, so like Qua. So there we go. I guess I'd better talk. As I normally do, frequently as the game's going on, but particularly during this ending, the ending of games. So yeah. I enjoyed that game. As I said, the final boss was a bit disappointing. I find the bosses in the 2D Zelda games, particularly the older ones like this, are pretty tricky, trickier than the ones in the 3D Zelda games. I thought there were quite a few things that don't actually make logical sense, and of course the graphics are quite primitive. But, and it does have basically the same storyline as every single other Zelda game. except possibly Breath of the Wild. But it's still a fun game. The changing seasons mechanic is used fairly well. The music's good. There's some fairly good dungeons in it, although I must admit, since they all look and sound fairly similar, I do find it quite hard to tell the difference between one of the 2D Zelda dungeons and another. That's not true in some of the more recent ones, like A Link Between Worlds. I thought the dungeons distinguished themselves quite well, but don't think that I didn't enjoy this, because I did. It's a fun game. And now then, I said the very first episode of this, that there are certain things you can only access if you've got both games, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, and you need this code to be able to access certain things in Oracle of Ages, and you need the code at the end of Oracle of Ages to be able to get certain things in this. So my advice, if you're interested in unlocking extra things in Oracle of Seasons, is to use this code. Now, as far as I know, the code is always the same, but it might be that your copy has a different code. I'm going to write this code down in case I ever do an Oracle of Ages Let's Play. And there we go. I will see you in the next Let's Play.